Hey everybody, thanks for coming to TheWheelDean. I wanted to make a video for those of you who may have recently had a spinal cord injury and are going through the rehabilitation process. So whether you're in rehab right now or you're on an outpatient basis or you're recently out and you're contemplating what to do with life right now, this video is geared towards those who would like to start driving again, okay? Now, my injury happened when I was 21 years old back in 1995. I was in a motorcycle accident, and about a year and a half after my injury was when I started going through the process of getting my license back. Now, my injury happened in Arizona, and I originally came from New York. And at the time, New York law was that if you were unconscious or dead in your accident and were revived, that you had to go through a recertification process. So whether or not you were, I would suggest that you do the same regardless, okay? So as far as a recertification process, I would recommend that the first step that you do is just Google driving school in your area and see what school offers driver training for people with disabilities, hand controls, etc. If you want to know the person that I use, just contact me. He still does it, and he basically takes care of like Southeast New York. He might even do parts of Connecticut, Pennsylvania. So just get a hold of me and let me know, and I'll pass on the information to you. But so the way that it happened back then was I ended up calling him. He came over. I got in the car, and the hand controls that he had in his car, the gas and brake were on the left side, and I would have to, put my hand in the steering device, my right hand. I didn't really like that because I wanted to steer with my left hand and use the gas and brake with my right. That, to me, feels more comfortable. So we went out, we drove around a little bit, but I wasn't taking the turns too well because I didn't have a lot of range of motion with my right arm. I had plenty of strength with my left, but it was just a little bit too awkward. So I asked him, I said, hey, is there any way that you could do a right-handed setup? And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. So we rescheduled, and the next time that he came, I was actually waiting outside, and I see him coming down the road, and he's on the passenger side of the vehicle assembling the hand controls as he's driving towards my house. So he pulls up, and he's already on the passenger side, so he just puts the car in park, shuts it off, and I transferred into the car. I left my wheelchair behind. I was living with my parents at the time, and we went out for a ride, and it was great because at the time, the hand control that he had was that I pulled towards myself for the throttle, and I pushed forward for the gas. So that worked out nice. He popped off the spinner knob that was on his steering wheel, and he put what's called the tri-pin on there, and I'll just include a picture of that for you. And we went around my neighborhood first, kind of got the feel of the car itself, see how effective the brakes were. Now, a driver trainer should have a brake pedal on his side as well. That way, if you run into a problem, they could stop you from crashing. But I handled the car very well, and we went out onto the main roads and probably did about, I would say, probably 12 to 15 miles, and all sorts of streets as far as like stop and go traffic. Up on the highway, we got up to about 70, 75 miles an hour. And right away, he knew that I was fine as far as feeling comfortable, being able to control the car. And we set up one more appointment after that, but halfway through that, he was just like, you're good to go. So I ended up going back. I got my license, and the restrictions on the license, as far as 3 restrictions, was automatic transmission, hand control for the gas and brake, and a steering wheel device. There were no other restrictions on it as far as, signal, right-handed signal or anything like that. But like I said before, even if your state doesn't require that you get recertified, I would do so just because of the fact that nowadays everybody is so sue happy that, I mean, picture this. If, let's say you were injured, you went, you got your license, you're driving around, and at no fault of your own, you're in an accident, okay? Now, if it's a pretty bad accident, people are going to start lawyering up. And if lawyers become involved, they are going to look for every possible reason to blame you for it. Even if it's 100% the other person's fault, you're on the line for it because that person might have no disability and you do. So that lawyer may point out, hey, you know what? This person was never professionally trained to drive a vehicle after their injury that had hand controls. And hey, this person doesn't have restrictions on their license stating what should be in their car. So whatever you can do to support the fact that you know how to drive this vehicle and you have been certified to drive this vehicle with adaptive equipment in a situation where a lawyer's after you, that's going to help you out tremendously, okay? I am a C5, 6, 7 quadriplegic, and there are a lot of people that I know or have seen that are the same level as me or even lower. And they're rolling around in power chairs, they're driving vans, and I'm just, I look at them and I'm just like, why? Why? I mean, I know that it's more convenient, okay? Well, actually, it's really not more convenient because then you're limited to your transportation method, okay? If you got a big old heavy power chair and you want to go out with some friends, you can't just hop in their car, take your chair apart, and throw it in the back, all right? You got to take your vehicle or public transportation that accommodates a power chair. So my philosophy ever since day one is if you have any muscle, use it, okay? My therapists and my nurses back then were always telling me, with your level, you should have a power chair. If you don't, you're going to burn your shoulders out within a year. And you know what? As good as they were, I'm almost 25 years post-injury. My shoulders are fine. I've always used a manual wheelchair. If I was in a power chair, I would not be in the shape that I'm in. I would be heavier. I don't even know if I'd be alive, I mean, I just see that and I'm just like, come on, people, try a little harder. All right, get motivated. Now, I know not everybody can use a power chair. Everybody's injury is different. But if you're like me, C5, 6 or lower, I'm paralyzed from the chest down. I have no control or feeling below my chest. I cannot move any of my fingers. I have no right tricep, very weak left tricep, and very weak wrist flexion. If your injury is like that or better, I don't see why you can't use a manual chair, and I don't see why you can't drive what you want to drive. Now, if you want to drive a van, fine, that's cool. But me, I like to drive cars, and I just want people to know that you don't have to be forced into something that you don't want to drive. All right, this is my 93 Accord wagon. I drive this about once a week to work and back just to keep it going. My daily driver is a Corvette, and I drive that 6 days or 5 days out of the week usually. So, check out my other videos. I have some videos on the Corvette itself. But I just want to motivate everybody out there who is new to the spinal cord injury life that, just keep trying, just keep moving. Me personally, I didn't put my whole life aside to try to get movement back and try to walk again. I basically went through therapy, did a little bit of outpatient therapy, but pretty much a year after my injury, I was all done. That was it. I wasn't getting any more feeling back. I wasn't getting any more movement back. And I just accepted it at that, and I moved on with my life. And, if you want to keep fighting and trying to get back on your feet, that's fine because, we need those people to help research. But I'm sorry, I wasn't one of those people. I wanted to just get on with my life and, go back. Well, I didn't want to go back to school, but at that time I thought I had to, because I was always mechanical. So I figured, you know what, let me go back to school and see what I could do. But it was useless. I ended up opening up my own car business and did that for about 11 years. And then I moved that back out to Arizona. This is where I want to be. And my girlfriend and I are living here now. We bought a house. And like I said, I got this car, I got my vet, got a full-time job, and eventually I want this to turn into something. So, well, that's about it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know that anytime I post a video, you'll get an alert. And if you could leave a comment in the comment section below, that would be great. All those things help the YouTube algorithm find my videos, find my channel, and hopefully, more and more subscribers. I'll be able to make something out of this in the future. I'm basically investing my time going in that direction, hopefully. So, like I said, thank you for supporting this channel. And if you have any suggestions on videos that you would like to see me make for you, leave a comment. All right, I will do my best to respond, and I will do my best to make those videos. Like I said, I'm 25 years post-injury, so topics like dysreflexia or spasms, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. I will make some videos, okay? And please check back, but if you do subscribe, you'll be alerted to all the videos that I post. So have a good one. Continue on. Try hard. And we'll talk later. All right. Thank you. See ya.